Celtics Today is sponsored by Mint Mobile, the cell phone provider owned by famous actor Ryan Reynolds. Has cell phone plans starting as low as $15 per month. We'll tell you more about them later on at today's show. But first, I want to hear from you down in the comment section because it is trivia time here on Celtics Today. What year were the Boston Celtics founded? Go down in the comment section. Let me know. The first person that answers it correctly will get a shout-out on the next show. So I'm not giving any hints either. Go down in the comment section. I expect a lot of y'all to know this. But again, first person gets a shout-out. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Today's video is going to get you guys an opening night 15-man roster projection. We're less than 2 weeks now from the start of the regular season on October 18th at TD Garden against the 76ers. What is the 15-man roster going to look like when the Celtics season tips off? They're, of course, right in the middle of the preseason now. We'll begin with the starting five. And I'm going to rank these guys kind of 1 through 15 in terms of who's going to make this team. We begin with number one, the Celtics' best player. That is Jayson Tatum. He'll start at the 3 this season for the Celtics. And it could very well be an MVP caliber season for Tatum. He finished 5th in the MVP voting last season, putting up 26.9 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, shot 45.3% from the floor, 35.3% from three-point range. And a lot of people think that Jayson Tatum is going to take a big step during the 2022-2023 season. So I ask this question to you. Will Jayson Tatum win the NBA MVP award? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Down in the comment section, let's type Y for yes, man. I think Tatum's going to get it done. I think he's going to put up nearly 30 points per game, lead the Celtics to ring number 18. We'll talk about Jaylen Brown next. He'll be in the starting five. Obviously, thank you, Brad Stevens, for not trading this guy. He was in trade rumors for Kevin Durant, but he is going to remain with the Boston Celtics, which is, we're all very happy about. Marcus Smart, I think, is going to remain the starting point guard. I understand that you traded for Malcom Brogdon, but Smart will be the starting point guard, at least to begin the season. They have a lot of confidence in him. He's the defensive player of the year. Both him and Brogdon have their different strengths, but Smart going to be the starting point guard. Brogdon going to be sixth man of the year. Al Horford will be the starting center. Now, they have a couple different options here, and I'll talk about this after we show the fifth starter, but Al Horford probably going to be the starting center because Robert Williams III is out. I expect him to be the guy at center this year for the C's. So the first 4 in the starting 5, Tatum, Brown, Smart, and Horford. I want to tell you about our friends over at Mint Mobile because you can use your data with them however you like, even where coffee shops don't exist. And it's so easy to make the switch. You can do it from the comfort of your own. When I made the switch to Mint Mobile, I thought I was going to have to go to a store. I didn't. You can do the same. MintMobile.com/chatsports. And most importantly, they have cell phone plans starting as low as $15 per month. We're all looking to save money right now with inflation. You can do that through Mint Mobile, mintmobile.com/chatsports. So we get to our next starter. I believe Grant Williams will be in the starting 5. And we're filming this right before the second preseason game. So after the first preseason game, but Grant Williams did not start. It was Derrick White instead. They really went small ball, but I think Grant Williams at the 4 as the starter makes a lot of sense here on opening night. So if this is the Celtics starting 5, which it is likely, rate it. Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when an ad break comes, go down and let me know what you think. Rate the Celtics starting 5. As we get into the Celtics bench now, Malcom Brogdon, like I said, 6th man of the year. You trade for Indiana. You absolutely fleece the Pacers, and you bring Brogdon to Boston. We can make the argument all day. Brogdon, Smart, who should start? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's going to matter how they use their strengths. Brogdon more of a shooter, Smart more of a defender. Brogdon will come off the bench for now, as will Derrick White. And I want to see Derrick White kind of make the next step. We saw him play decently well in Boston. I want to see him be even better this season after the trade with the Spurs. He looked decent last year. Payton Pritchard. Gotta love Payton Pritchard, man. Love PP, man. He's been phenomenal. This is his 3rd season in the league, and I expect a lot of great things from him this year. Maybe have an increased role on this basketball team. We'll see what happens. But I love my guy, Payton Pritchard. And then the newest member of the Boston Celtics, Blake Griffin, number 9 here on the 15-man roster projection countdown. Officially signed a one-year deal with the Celtics over the weekend. And based on everything we're seeing and hearing, it seems like he's already gelled really well with the team. I think I just read a tweet a few moments ago that said it feels like he's been there 5 years, just the way he's communicating with the team. Here's what he did in Brooklyn last season. He made some interesting comments over the weekend that made it feel like he's happy to leave Brooklyn, happy to be in Boston. 6.4 points per game, 1.9 assists per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 42.5% from the floor. So look, he's not the Blake Griffin we once knew, but he's still a solid player, and he's a solid fit in Boston. He's more of, the thing about Griffin, and I understand I've been talking for weeks about signing Carmelo Anthony, which they technically still could do. Griffin can play the 4 and the 5. Carmelo can't. So Griffin can also be a Robert Williams replacement in addition to a Danilo Gallinari replacement. Luke Kornet, number 10 here. I'm not the biggest fan of Kornet, I have to admit. Right now he's dealing with an ankle sprain. He's going to miss the first week or two of preseason. Here's what he did in 14 games last season. Kind of hopped around on 10-day contracts, played for 3 different teams. This is what he did in Boston, though. 2 points per game, 0.6 assists per game, nearly 2 rebounds per game, shot 48% from the floor. So, look, Kornet, I want to see more from him, but him getting major minutes right away just didn't make sense, which is why he signed Blake Griffin. Sam Hauser might have an increased role. I'm a big fan of Sam. And, again, we're filming this before the second preseason game. But Hauser looked really solid against the Hornets in that first preseason game. Made 4 3-pointers. He's the guy that you can bring off the bench and put at the 4 and have him shoot. I'm not going to compare him to Danilo Gallinari, but he's a very similar player in terms of the shooting presence as we now get to Danilo. And you might be saying, Will, why is he on your 15-man roster? Well, NBA does not have an injured reserve. So believe it or not, I don't agree with it. Danilo's going to take up a roster spot this season, as will Robert Williams III. The good news with Williams that we can't say about Gallinari is that Williams is going to be back eventually. Gallinari likely out the entire season. If a miracle happens, then maybe we'll see him in the playoffs. He's likely out the entire season. If he's a little bit younger, I might feel better about him coming back from the torn ACL that he suffered over in Europe a few weeks ago. Gallo not going to play this season probably, but Robert Williams III might be back around Christmas time. Going to miss 8 to 12 weeks after the knee surgery that he had a couple weeks ago. Noah Vonleh, I think, is going to make this team. He looked really solid in that first preseason game. Love the upside with Noah Vonleh. He's looked good in practice as well. Everything I'm reading makes it sound like Vonleh has a lot of momentum, more momentum than some of the guys on training camp deals. And I just think one guy on a camp deal is going to make this team. I believe that's going to be Vonleh. Keep in mind, Bruno Caboclo's already been cut. Mfiondu Kabengele is my last man here to make the roster, and I'm a really big fan of Kabengele. I've been a big fan since I watched him play for the C's in the Summer League. Here's what he did playing for the C's in the Summer League. Nearly 15 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game, 2.2 blocks per game for Mfiondu Kabengele. He was absolutely fantastic and put together a really solid performance against the Hornets the other night as well. So I think Kabengele is going to make the team. In fact, he might be the backup center, Robert Williams III, by the time the season is over. Here's who didn't make the cut. J.D. Davison, Jake Layman, Luka Samanic, and Broderic Thomas did not make this team. Davidson's on a 2-way deal. We'll see him in Maine. What would they do with the other guys? We'll see. I believe Broderic Thomas, his 2-way deal is still good, so he should be in Maine as well. But these guys don't make the cut. J.D. Davison, just based on the depth they have at point guard, I don't think he's going to make it, but I think he's going to be with the Celtics a lot by the end of the season. All right, here is the trivia answer. What year were the Celtics founded? The answer to that, 1946. If you got it right, shout out to you. The first person that commented correctly, I'm going to give a shout out on a future show. But 1946 is the answer to that question. So appreciate all you guys for chiming in and watching the show. And be sure to go down, subscribe to the channel because we're bringing you guys Celtics news, Celtics rumors videos several times a week. Also going to get you guys a mailbag here in the near future.